What's going on, you guys? So the press conference for new general manager John Spytek and head coach Pete Carroll is in the books, and got a couple of takeaways. So essentially, just win, baby. That's what I got. So obviously it started out with Spytek, kind of obviously just kind of going through his past experiences and everything. And, he did mention some interesting things as far as his past, being with Tom Brady, and also putting in the plug that they had been there with the Denver Broncos back when Pete Carroll and the Seahawks dismantled them in the Super Bowl. But, we also kind of just talked about the culture and the idea of and how building those teams to be competitive, and talk about the experience of being around a guy like Tom Brady and filling up those rooms. So that was fantastic to see. And basically my big takeaways is that, this is a complete culture shift. This is a complete change from what the Raiders have done in the past. It is going to be a pretty much three big prongs. Is obviously, winning. That's the most important thing. But you want to run the football. That's huge. The fact that they already mentioned that is big. You want to build around your quarterback, and you want to play solid defense. And I think that is that's just music to my ears, because we've seen this team try to run the football over the last couple of years, and it has not gone kosher. Let's put it that way. And I think that the reamplification as well as the focus of running the football against some of these teams is going to be huge for the Raiders, and we got to get back to it. I mean, it worked for us in the past, and I think it's such an important key component to running a successful program is being able to run the football, and that was a big thing that they mentioned. Spytek, like we had talked about, obviously talking about his past experience with a guy like Pete Carroll, and as well as trades and things that he's had to do in order to take chances and really put his team in the best spot. And so I think that's fantastic for Spytek to really shine a light on that. Like, hey, this really is about building the whole team, and just continually looking at all those different moves and everything. And yes, they have the plug for both of them. I've won a Super Bowl, so that's very good to see. And I really it really resonated with me when he kind of talked about some of his past experiences, how those didn't exactly pan out, and kind of learning from those, and coming back and being able to be around the people he was with. It really does just speak to, it's all about who you surround yourself with, and I really felt like that was a big a good message from Spytek. Also, so we talked about the defense. That's going to get a lot better. The running the football, that's going to be huge. Also, the fact that, it's not like they had bad quarterbacks, but they didn't have, for the most part of Spytek's career, they didn't have a Tom Brady. I mean, obviously, he had him for a little bit, won a Super Bowl with him, but, he had a Baker Mayfield. He had all these different guys, and finally eventually got to winning with these guys where, you just build around the quarterback. You get him an offensive line, you get him a running game, and you go from there. And it's just fantastic to see what he's been able to build there with the Buccaneers. And now for Pete Carroll, he's such a down-to-earth person. Like, I love Pete Carroll. And I really felt like he kind of shared some of the same sentiments. Like, hey, things don't always go 100% correctly, but how do you react to them? How do you, what do you learn from those experiences? And, and that's kind of what I learned from Spytek, as well as, both these guys have had failures in the NFL. You're going to have it. It's going to happen. But the question in that and in life is, how are you going to handle it? What are you going to learn? What are you going to take away? And, I think that there needs to be an understanding that these guys are starting essentially from scratch. Yeah, they got some pieces, Brock Bowers and Max Crosby and all that, but this is a completely new, different team that they're building, one that is going to put an emphasis on running the football, playing good defense, and building around the quarterback. And so, I think that this is, especially when it comes to Pete Carroll, this is just such a great message. And, kind of him talking about, yeah, he's 73 and he's been around the block a couple of times, but, he's still the same old Pete Carroll. He's going to come in with a lot of energy, and he's going to come in and bring in good people that are going to win football games, because ultimately that is the most important thing. And so, like we kind of talked about, so all of them kind of touched on the idea of what they're going to do with the quarterback, as well as, what they're going to do just from a team culture perspective. And so I think that this team is going to be really good at running the football, or at least it's going to put more of an emphasis on it. It's going to, this defense is going to vastly improve, or that was a big message. And finally, this team is going to build around the quarterback. Even if that quarterback is not a Tom Brady, it is still going to put them in the best possible position to be successful. And I do expect this, especially with Spytek kind of referencing some of his moves, particularly like bringing in Rob Gronkowski, bringing in a Tom Brady, Jason Pierre-Paul, like some of these moves that he's made. I fully expect him to be willing to trade for guys, to be taking chances, to doing all these different things. And I think that it's going to really pay off dividends for the Raiders in the long run. So essentially, the press conference conference was a smash hit, and I do think that, you know, for the Raiders, they've got a lot of different things going for them, and I think that they've got the right attitude about them. And so let us know what you guys think, though. What did you guys notice from the press conference? Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll see you on the next video.